Hello everyone and welcome to the village. Tonight we've got the amazing Charlotte Wibberley talking to us on her talk What the Funnel. So I'm going to just pass over to you so you can introduce yourself and do your thing.
Thank you so much, my lovely. Right, let's get this shared. This is the bit where you're like going, can you see my slides? Can you see my slides? But can you genuinely see my slides? Yes, excellent, amazing. Cool. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jen, and the lovely Linda for inviting me to come along and talk to you today. So this is going to be around 30 minutes. I'm going to talk to you about funnels. Promise it's sexy, but I can answer questions throughout, but I can also answer questions at the end as well. So if you guys have got your little chat bar, I'll just make sure that I've got that up there. There we go, lovely. Yeah, if you've got questions, please do put them in the chat because I'll be looking at that throughout as well. So I don't want you to get to the end and think, oh, what was that thing that she said? Just ask me and I'm happy to just answer it as we go. So, will this actually advance? There we go. So today I am going to talk to you about what the funnel even is, a funnel. I'm going to talk to you about the 6 key elements that you need to consider when you're building every funnel in your business. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about optimization, data, again, promise it's sexy, and finding friction points. I'm going to talk to you about the difference between funnels and launching. I'm going to talk to you a little bit as well about 5, I suppose, common mistakes or mishaps that I see people making when they are building out their funnels and launches as well. But before I dive into that a little bit about me. So I am an evergreen launch and business growth strategist. So I started my business back in 2012 when I had my son. He's now about to turn 12, which is just absolutely terrifying. And it's like a proper human being and it's very scary. But I built my business really because I was in a corporate and they didn't offer me any kind of flexibility at all. So I kind of had the do it or leave. So I took the leave option and set up my first business, which was kind of doing virtual assistant work, online business management and supporting businesses with, growing their own audiences and putting out digital products and all that sort of stuff. So these days I tend to focus more on the 6- and 7-figure entrepreneurs, helping them to come up with lead gen tactics, building out sophisticated sales funnels, evergreen ecosystems, launches, all that sort of stuff, which at the beginning I thought was absolutely dull as shit, whereas now it turns out I love it, and this is what I do as a business. So I've been lucky enough over the last 12 years, I still feel like I'm 30, to work with some amazing entrepreneurs. But I've also been in that time through 2 major periods of complete and utter burnout as well. So I have 2 kids, an entrepreneurial husband, and I'm often trying to grow the next best thing, the next big thing in my business. So I found myself twice in that business journey over the last 12 years in complete burnout, unable to do anything. And it was at those points of burnout that really I started to really lean into evergreen and funnels and what they could do for my own business, let alone what they were doing for the clients that I was working with. So for me at that point in time, it was essential, unable to serve my clients one-to-one all the time, to build out the digital products, the courses, the ways to earn money without me having to do all the flipping time. So that's exactly what I did. I built out a suite of courses. I now have a certification. I've got a team and an agency who can deliver whilst I'm not there. And that's kind of, part of what I now help my clients with as well, is to go, how can we build you a business that means that it's making you money and you get to do what you love, but equally, if you need to step out because you're poorly, your kids are sick, you're having a down day, whatever it is, that you can do that and your business still grows. So I also have a puppy, which is just like madness. Why would you do it? 2 kids and a puppy. So funnel speak. I often get like people talking to me and going like, what even is a funnel? I don't even know what you're talking about when it comes to like funnels and all that sort of stuff. In fact, when I was talking about funnels to my dear dad, who used to be an entrepreneur before he retired, he was sort of like, surely a funnel's just that thing that I use to like decant my wine from the bottle into this lovely, lovely decanter. I was like, no. The reality is that particularly post-pandemic, standing out online is even harder than ever. I know we've got social media marketers and other people in here that, like, you're with me, right? It's harder and harder to get eyeballs on you and your business. And it's eyeballs that we need on us and our businesses to make sure that we're making sales. And sales are obviously the lifeblood of our business. And, you know, particularly post-pandemic, the shift of people from delivering sort of one-to-one offers to online courses and, you know, digital downloads, you see them everywhere, that's absolutely skyrocketed as well. So I found that people are coming to me post-pandemic and are like unsure on how to navigate this new marketing world that we found ourselves in 2021 and onwards. They don't know how they need to launch profitably. They don't know how to use their email list to make more sales. They don't even know how to put these things together. So I've spent my last 3 years trying to lean into that and help people to understand that this is an essential part of their businesses. The landscape has changed. The way that we market to our clients has fundamentally changed as well. So more and more businesses, as I said, have decided or seen that they need to create more online offerings. They want to create these freedom-based businesses because, you know, the pandemic scared the crap out of all of us. And we were suddenly like, if we can't do what we do in the way that we do it, how are we actually going to make sure that our businesses make money and we make sales? And that means an increase in marketing in the online space. And these online courses, these programs, these products, these memberships, they all need funnels to make sure that they are being sold. So what the funnel is a funnel. You can tell I'm really proud of that trademark that I've got. So let's take it right back to basics. So the steps of your sales funnel, it takes your clients, potential clients, through this entire buying journey, right from discovering that you exist, probably on your social media or through a recommendation or something like that, through to building rapport and a relationship with them, and then making an offer, and then hopefully them buying, then you making a sale, and actually then delivering the product as well. And if you have ever tried to constantly sell everything that you offer yourself online on your socials, it's pretty unachievable. And if you did achieve it, you'd be flipping exhausted at the end of it as well. When you start to lean into building and relying on optimized funnels in your business, it means that you can focus on the attract piece, attracting new people into your audience, and then based on their behaviors and what they've opted into, you can then nurture them in a personalized way towards the right product or service for them. Make sense? So also, a funnel doesn't necessarily have to be about sales. Funnels can be to create awareness, build trust, just to grow your audience, any of those sorts of things. But ultimately, your funnels can do the heavy lifting of your marketing for you. And I'm all about getting support to lift the heavy things in my business. So there are loads of different types of funnels out there, and you'll probably have seen some of these, heard some of these. You guys might have some of these in your business as well. If you do, actually pop it in the chat. What are you using funnel wise in your business? If you're not using any, do not worry, there's no problems. But if you're using any, I'd be really interested to hear what they are. So these are some of the ones that I suppose me and my team would strategize or build on a regular basis. So I'll just talk through them quickly. Oh, Linda and Jen, I've done online workshops like webinars. Perfect. Webinar funnel, love it. And those can be paid or free. So a self-liquidating offer, an SLO, if you don't know what this is, you've definitely seen it on Facebook. So this is where you'll see like these ads that pop up, always a sponsored post, and it'll be a sponsored post that comes up and goes, you know, do you need to delegate more? Get this massive toolkit that has 3 webinars and it has all these downloadables and plug and play templates and cheat sheets and all this value crammed into it, worth £1,000, yours for £7 or $7. And the whole point with that, an SLO, is that people will put together this high value, low cost product and run it through ads, and the money that they make off of that low cost product pays for their ads. So it's a way to build their audience for free. So they're not making a profit on it, but they're using the money that they make off that SLO to just build their audience. And they do that so that they can have more people on their email list. So that's an SLO. And now I've said about it, you'll see them everywhere. A lead magnet funnel. So There are several lead magnet funnels in here as well. So whether it's a quiz funnel, whether it's a PDF, whether it's a webinar, something where you are giving away something for free that qualifies them as being your ideal client, they put in their email address, and then you've got them on their list. And then you can choose whether to sell to them, take them to the next level, or you can put them on your regular newsletter, whatever it is. Webinar funnel, as Jen's just said, so this can be a really great way of, as a freebie or as part of a launch, to get people in for free. But, you know, we all know that video and connection is really, really important. And through a webinar, people get to see you. So that can really help at the beginning of a sales funnel, to have you in a webinar so they can connect with you and see you. Can be really, really effective. Similar with a challenge funnel. You guys have probably joined challenges if you've been in the online business space a while, where you'll do 3 days worth of, you know, challenges or activities. The whole goal for the business owner that's running them is getting you to take a small action every single day that leads you towards going what they're selling at the end. If this is what they're doing in the challenge, it's going to be amazing. So challenge funnels are really useful in launches, particularly at a specific price point. Application funnels, this is where it might be for a mastermind, something really high ticket, application form, book a call, sell you into the program, usually quite short, and for high ticket things creates exclusivity. So if you're selling high ticket stuff, that can be a really good one to think about. Quiz funnel, great segmenter. So you take a quiz, people take your quiz. I've got one for launches. Which launch should you take? People fill in my quiz, and depending on what their outcome is, I can market to them about, well, you need a webinar, so we can build this for you, or actually you're going to do a challenge, we can build this for you. So you can segment your audience. It's a great segmenter, having a quiz in your business. And people love doing a quiz because we're all bloody nosy about what the outcome's going to be. Video series, similar to a webinar, but probably pre-recorded. They sign up, maybe get a video delivered every single day. Evergreen funnel is where it's not got a live date on it. You can just keep running it, and it's going to bring you sales or bring you leads in on an evergreen basis. The other one that I've seen work really, really well recently is an online summit. So you're bringing together experts in similar or the same field as you, and you're putting on like an online event, and getting people to register for that as well. So that can be a really good one. So these are all kinds of funnels that you might have in your business or might think about implementing in your business. And the key when you're approaching any of these types of funnels, and where I really like to add value to my clients, is to get them to think about understanding that there are always nearly forgot how many of them, 6 key elements that make up each of these funnels. And you need to make sure that you give each of them its own focus and its own respect in terms of building it. So, just drink. The first element is traffic. You can have the best funnel in the world with the most amazing sign-up page, the most appealing offer, most competitive price. Everyone needs it. But if you do not have people coming into that funnel, traffic coming into that funnel, you're not going to make any sales. So I often get people to think about this right at the beginning of mapping out their funnel or their launch, is going, how are you going to get people into that funnel? And ways that you can start to bring people in are through your organic social media. You could use things like paid for advertising, so Meta ads or LinkedIn ads or something like that. You can use lead magnets. You can guest feature in people's groups. You can put a podcast out. You can run quizzes, you can do, affiliates or joint ventures. There are tons of ways that you can think about how you can be visible in front of other audiences to bring those people in. And you may need more than one as well, depending on the goal of what your funnel or your launch is. But thinking ahead of time, how am I going to get people to even see what I'm putting out there? How am I going to get people through this funnel? It's absolutely crucial. So then we move on to the sales element. So this is all about showcasing how you can help people and what you can offer them. So this is the piece that I say to people, start, if you're building something out, think about your traffic, but start the build of your sales assets first, because it will underpin everything else that you build out for your funnel. So I'm talking about things like webinar registration pages, the sales page for your offer. So if you're selling an online course, or you're selling a workshop, or you're selling, one-to-one done for you services, start with your sales page, because there you can start to really identify who it's for, what their big problem is, what the solution could be, how you provide that solution, and make the offer of the program or the service at that point as well. And as I say, that will then filter into all of the other elements that you are building inside your funnel, and even like your traffic stuff for your social media and bits and bobs like that. The key is you need to be quite hooky. Hooky in what you say in terms of your copy. It really needs your ideal client to know this is for them. And I think one of the mistakes that I often see people make is that they talk about what's included. So the features of a program or a service or an offer, or as in there are 6 modules, you get access to this bonus, you also get a free Facebook group. Those are the features, but they don't talk about the benefit. So, why the hell does that stuff matter? What's it actually going to get people? Will it give them more confidence, free up their time, make them more money? Those are the benefits. So make sure you're thinking about putting the benefits into those sales elements rather than the features. And the same goes even if it's not a paid for thing. So when you're putting together like your webinar sign up page, why do they need to join? What is it that they're suffering with at the moment that your webinar is going to solve, and what are you going to cover off, and why the hell does that matter to them? When you're thinking about the problem as well, just make sure that you're doing it on a problem that they really know that they have. So often we can make an assumption that, I do it all the time, that people don't understand about funnels, but people might understand about funnels, but what they might not know is about how to optimize funnels. So think about the problem that your ideal client is going to understand that they have as well. Checkouts, carts. So this often gets forgotten, even when I work with the big names out there. Often their cart element is not optimized. But if you think about it, this is probably the most vulnerable or risky part of your funnel. So people have come in through your lead magnet, they've done your webinar, they've seen your sales page, they've clicked through to your checkout. But this is the point they've got their card out and they're thinking, should I invest in this? I don't know. Is it right for me? Do I need it? Should I wait till later? So your job in this element, when you're creating your checkouts and your carts, is to give them the confidence that they're making the right choice for them. And what that means is making sure that it's on brand, making sure that you've got testimonials on your checkout that show that, you're credible and you know what you're doing. Reiterating exactly what they're signing up for. So if they are signing up to an online program, exactly what are they getting inside of that? Or if it's a done for you service, what are you providing? What are they actually signing up to? And you can think about putting things like a guarantee in there, like a money back guarantee, if that's the kind of thing that you do with your business. The whole job of this particular element is to give them the confidence that it's aligned, this is right, it's a safe place to buy from. And that they can hand over those kind of details. This is going to be the right choice for them. So it doesn't end with the sale. This next element, delivery, is all about how you're actually then delivering that service, that course, that product to your client as well. And you need to make sure that you're making it crystal clear what the next steps are and what your purchaser can expect to happen. Give them all of the information that they need, and don't assume that they're going to understand that they have to go to this place to access their content. Tell them and tell them again. So I like to have quite a robust thank you page that sort of says, thanks, you're into whatever they've signed up for. The first step is going to be going to this place to access your content. We'll also send you an email with all of your login details. If you've got any problems, this is where you can access support, all on the thank you page. And then I reiterate all of that in the email that I send to them as well. So, it depends whether you're sending them to an online course platform or they're booking a call with you via Calendly. You guys will all have different things that you're delivering for them, but make it really crystal clear, so they're not sat there thinking, I signed up to this thing and I don't really know what happens next. You want to make sure that they are really clear, and so therefore they have a good feeling about the purchase that they've just made. Can you see that on the yellow? Follow-up. One of the most forgotten as well elements is your follow-up. So the people that have just bought from you, people that have bought from you, are actually your hottest audience, because they've already decided that you are worth investing money in. And assuming that they've been happy with what they've had, they are the best people for you to market to as well. So once you have sold to people, have a think, or think ahead of time as to how you are going to continue that journey with them. So are there upsells that you can give to them? They've bought a membership. Can you be leading them towards a one-to-one program? They've bought, a coaching session. Is there a package that they can sign up to? Always think about what is the next step for them, and make it kind of you can position it as this is the next step. You bought this thing, and this is how you can continue on that journey and really get the result that you want. And equally, for the people that have gone through your funnel and haven't bought from you, leads are really hard to get these days. So, and if you've paid for them, you really want to make sure that you've made the most out of it. So is there something else you can offer them, or a downsell? So you've offered them your £1,500 offer and they don't want it. It's not right for them. Can you offer them something slightly different to see if that maybe is right for them? Or can you ask them what they actually want, or what would help them? Whatever you decide is the follow-up with your non-purchasers, it's really important to make sure that you've got that in place ahead of time, so you're making the most out of those leads as well. You could just park them in a Facebook group. So you can say, come join my free community, or come follow me on Instagram. Doesn't really matter. But what you really want to do is keep them in your world. Now you've got them in your world. And then finally, everyone usually goes, oh, when I talk about this, but I know it isn't sexy. Well, it is sexy to me, but the success of your marketing and your funnels and all of your campaigns needs to be tracked and understood, because otherwise you could be wasting time and money on something that actually just isn't working for you. So you need to be looking on a regular basis at all of the key data points in your funnel. So your sales page conversion rate, you might want to look at, if you're running a webinar, how many people clicked on the page and actually signed up, and then how many people joined live, and then how many people went on to sale, and how many people clicked on the checkout, and how many people abandoned. All those things will be able to help you to understand if that funnel is actually working, and if it's going to be profitable for you or not. If it isn't working, what the data points that you're looking at will help you to understand where it's not working and where you're losing people. So if you've got, people signing up to your challenge, and they've joined the challenge and they've clicked to your sales page, and all those rates look really, really great, but then clicking to checkout is not great, have you got enough call to actions on your sales page? If you're losing them at checkout, is there something wrong with your cart? Is it that it's not convincing them enough? If they're actually not even going through to your sales page, your email is underperforming. Wherever that data is kind of dropping off will give you clues as to where you need to fix things. And we all want to make sure that this is giving us return on investment, right? So you need to look at the data. I tend to track data on a weekly basis for my own business, and then for clients it kind of depends on the project and what we're doing, but make sure you get into that regular thing of looking at it and going, okay, I know what good looks like, where am I coming up against that? So I'll send you these slides afterwards, by the way, Jen, so that I'm not whizzing through them. These are some email KPIs and other KPIs that you can use as a baseline. Everybody will end up with their own sort of sales funnel conversion rate. So I know people that convert at 10 to 15%. So 10 to 15% of the people that come in at the top of their funnel through their freebie buys at the bottom of the funnel. That's an incredible conversion rate. Most conversion rates are around 2 to 3%. But if you are the kind of person that hops on calls to sell stuff and people love you, you have a real profile, got a really engaged audience, it could be higher. But these are probably more typical KPIs. So I won't run through them all, but you guys can have a look at it afterwards, just to give you a benchmark when you're looking at that, to understand where you're performing. So yeah, as I say, are there friction points in your funnel? Is there confusion about what the offer is? Are people going through, taking the right action? Your data is going to give you the key as to where that problem is. So I realise I've just literally hit you over the head with a load of funnel stuff. So just to recap, when you are building your funnel, think about the 6 elements. Always start by thinking about your offer and your sales element. Build the copy for your sales page. Think about your program and the messaging, who it's for, why they need it, the offer that you know, the solution that you can provide and why you're the right person to buy from. And that copy will help you for building out the rest of your funnel. Ahead of time, think about how you're going to get your traffic into your funnel, how you're actually going to get those people to sign up, those eyeballs on what you're doing, thinking about your social media and other ways that you can generate traffic towards your funnel. Once you have delivered your course, service, product, ensure that straight away you've got next steps for the people that have bought, and equally you've got that downsell, cross-sell, other option for the people that haven't bought from you. And then I was always going to say it, wasn't I? Ensure that you're keeping on top of your data to find those points of friction so you can continually optimize and iterate and get results out of your funnels as well. Make sense? Okay. So we get funnels, but what is the difference between a launch and a funnel? So funnels don't have to be about selling. They can be evergreen and they are hands off. It is an automated customer journey where we segment based on the behaviors that people take. Whereas launches are live big bang events with a fixed date and time and a clear sell at the end. The whole point of a launch is you have something you want to make an offer on and sell in that period of time. And it's designed for maximum visibility in that time. So you'll see it as like, doors are open now. We've got 7 days for people to sign up, maximum visibility in that time. And a funnel can be part of a launch, but a launch is not part of a funnel. So look, like funnels are that like essential cog in your launch wheelhouse, but they can be standalone assets within your business as well. So hopefully that makes sense. But launches don't work anymore, do they? I know this is probably something that people are thinking. I know it's gone through many of my clients' heads. And the reality is that launches do still work, but they don't work how they used to work. So I guess when I first entered this online space, I was flooded with these entrepreneurs, these coaches that would like have that laptop lifestyle, but like on the beach, sipping cocktail, on Insta, and they'd be making, you know, grillions of pounds just by doing nothing. Doesn't work like that anymore. Now within launches, you really have to like lean into it and be present within it as a business owner. Personalization is absolutely massive. So making people feel like a person, not just a number in your funnel, is really important. And having that sort of segmented customer journey so that people are not getting generic stuff, they're getting stuff that's really tailored to the particular problem or issue that they have is absolutely crucial. So we're finding that, you know, I had a client recently that did a launch, refused to do any personal outreach or DMs to people after the webinar, and her launch results were not great. Whereas I had another client that really went all in on reaching out to the people that signed up to our webinar, that had clicked on the sales page, encouraging questions, having conversations if need be, and she absolutely smashed her launch. And that was a 75k launch. So I think just launches aren't the way that they used to be. They are still working, but it takes more work than potentially it used to. Guys, if you have any questions, by the way, please do stick them in the chat, because I know that I tend to just like go for it. So some mistakes that I see when people are launching or building out their funnels. As I say, I've been lucky enough to work behind the scenes of some amazing clients and launches over the years. And in doing so, including my own, I've been able to see the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to this stuff. So some of the things that I've seen that have really, I guess, cost launches are launching too quickly. So deciding that they want to launch something, still happens by the way, deciding they want to launch something in 2 weeks' time and going, I'm launching this, and sticking it out there without giving it the time to think about the eyeballs they're going to need on this, the people they're going to need in their funnel, their offer, and just like wanging it out there without any sort of clarity or plan. Launches can be really effective, but they need a good run up, and there are several launch phases you need to go through. So like engaging with people, exciting them about it, even before you do stuff. Yeah, great question. How long do you think it takes to plan and execute a launch? I always ask my clients to give me 12 weeks. So, and 12 weeks, I'm talking about from when we have our first conversation to cart close. So I want 12 weeks to go. If you say, just thinking about the one I've just done. So she had a cart, if we work it back, she had a cart open period of 1 week. So that took it back to 11 weeks. She was then, that was a masterclass. She was promoting the masterclass for 2 weeks before that, which was then 9 weeks. She was warming her audience up for 3 weeks before that, which was 6 weeks. And in the 6 weeks before that, we were building everything so that she wasn't building on the fly. Because I guess if you're trying to do things quickly, you're probably writing your sales page and your emails on the fly, and there's mistakes to be made there because we're all human. So I like to say 12 weeks. It can be done in less. And if you have your assets already, if you are doing a repeat launch, it can be done quicker. But what can't be done quicker is warming up your audience on your socials and your email list and stuff, and getting them in that sort of phase of going, this is coming. So changing your messaging to sort of align to whatever it is that you're launching. That makes sense. Not knowing who their audience is or that known problem the offer is solving, you're only going to make sales in any of your marketing if when people see what you're putting out there, they're like, this is for me, and that's the issue that I have, and that's the solution I want to get to. If you don't make those connection points, you're not going to make sales. They need to understand it's for them, that you understand the problem that they're suffering with, and that you have the solution. And when people put stuff out that doesn't have that clarity, it doesn't work. Unclear in their messaging, so talking about the elements or the features and not the benefits, that again I spoke about earlier. The elements and the features of what you're actually getting is important, don't get me wrong, but people need to understand how this is going to help fundamentally help them in their lives. So that generally means, how's it going to make them more money? How's it going to make them more happy? Less stress, give them more time, advance their career if it's something to do with that. It's all those core things that, feel safer, any of those sorts of things, any like personal thing that is really going to help them with. What's my view on offering discounts or early bird offers during the cart open period? It depends on the offer. Depends what you're putting out there. What's the context behind that? So you can do early bird offers, but I guess it depends on the type of launch you're doing. If you're doing like an event or something, you could do like scaling offers. So yeah, you could have like first few days. What I often see people do is there's a 24-hour bonus if you sign up within the first 24 hours. And then there's a 3-day bonus. You also get this if you sign up within the first 3 days, and they almost like remove the bonuses as time goes on. I think that's dying out slightly because people have decided that they don't want to be pressured into making a decision based on a bonus. So what's working much better is to have some really great bonuses when you're putting stuff out there, if it's a program, or for anything you do, but to go, this is just available to everybody, and not to have those time pressured things on there, because I think it can be seen as pressuring people into making a decision, and that might not be the right decision. It's almost better to give them the time and I guess thinking time and consideration to think about whether it's right for them. And you'll get the different people. So there's the people that literally see something and they buy because based on FOMO, they're like, everyone's buying it, I want it, and they go in. There's the people that need to look at every single detail and get every single one of your sales emails to know if it's right for them. There's the people that just want they don't want the detail, they're just like, where do I sign up, what's it for? So throughout a launch and cart open, you generally have like a rush at the beginning, a lull in the middle where you think you've massively failed, and then sign-ups just before cart close. But yeah, so I guess that's a really long way to answer that. I think time pressured offers are probably dying out, if I'm honest. There's other ways to get people in, I would say. Being unaware of how to price and package correctly, it's got to align with your audience. There's no point in you pricing it for a 7-figure business if actually your audience is, a smaller business, and not looking at the data. So they keep putting out the same thing without seeing that actually the data is telling them that it's wrong and it's not performing. And so they don't know what to change. And therefore they think that something's particularly wrong, but it might be a small tweak that actually transforms that for them. So just before we go, I wanted to touch on the tech, as this is something I get asked about a hell of a lot of times. So which is what tech do I need to create a funnel? So what do I need in that tech stack to actually do what I want it to do? So if you're creating something simple like a lead magnet, all you really need is an email marketing system and somewhere to build a page or a form for people to sign up. And you can have something like MailerLite, which is very low cost. You can build pages, forms, your automations and tagging and segmentation all comes in there. Obviously, for more sophisticated funnels where you're putting in automated webinars or some more sophisticated segmentation or you need deadlines, then you're going to need different software. And obviously that there's tons of pieces of software. I couldn't possibly go through them all. But these are some of the things that you should think about, because if you're like me, you get sucked into a tech. I like to sign up for everything and forget I've signed up and then find that I've spent loads of money on it. So only invest in tech or software that is what you need to actually do the job. So it might look great. Everyone might be going, oh, you should try this amazing thing, but do you need it? Do you need it right now? Maybe not. So only invest if you actually need it to do the job. We all have a budget as well that we need to stick to. So tech can be really an easy way for you to waste money as well. So consider your budget at the time and make sure you're not going outside of that just for unnecessary stuff. Listen to recommendations for sure. I'll always recommend my software that I use, but make your own choice, because what works for somebody, or the interface that works for somebody, might not work well for you or for what you're trying to achieve for your clients. So listen to recommendations, but make your own choice. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. For those of you that were aware, like Kartra's online, all-in-one online platform completely went down last October. I had clients in launch that lost the ability to email their list, take any money. They couldn't reach out to people to tell them what had happened. They lost pages, they lost sales. It massively messed stuff up. So I am a risk-averse person that goes, all-in-one systems can be great, but I would never put all of your eggs in one basket. And certainly if you are using an all-in-one system, make sure you have backups of your email list and everything, because otherwise you could come a crop up. Invest in your future business. So moving systems down the line can be really costly, stressful. It's a pain in the ass, because nowhere lets you export sales pages or automations and import them somewhere else because they want you to stay with them. So if you've built out 150 sales pages, not speaking from experience, in one system and you want to move to another, you're going to have to rebuild 150 sales pages and rebuild all your automations as well. So have a think when you're thinking about your tech platform about, sure, what you need now, but also with where your business is heading and when though you make more sales, or you implement that other tier to your offering, does it support that as well? Because you don't want to be in a situation where you've got to try and move if you can avoid it. And then someone loves the tech. There's crazy people like me and my team that we always love doing that sort of stuff. So, but joking aside, you can hire people to do the stuff for you, for all your stuff in your business that you don't enjoy doing. If you don't enjoy doing it, it's becoming a barrier to you moving forward with it, you can hire people to help you with it. So if you're interested, this is my tech stack. I'll send this to Jen, just thinking about the time. But yeah, Kajabi, ActiveCampaign, Thrivecart for checkouts, Canva. Who doesn't use Canva? Love Canva. Asana, Slack, Everwebinar, and Zapier. And I've worked with all the systems, and these are the ones for me that work the best. So my final thoughts for you guys, if you're sitting there thinking, I've got this, brilliant. If you're sitting there thinking, bloody hell, that was a lot of information. You can't do all of this at once. Take that first natural step, or it could be overwhelming. And if you do not have any funnels in your business, I would start with the most important one, which is always going to be a lead magnet funnel, a way that you can generate leads, qualify your audience, and get them on your email list. That's the most important that you can have. Start simple and grow from there. So get that one funnel working and converting for you, and then you can grow out your ecosystem with other funnels from there. But get that first one in place so that you have a way that you're building that audience. I'll say this later down the line. Don't wait for perfect. Messy action is better than no action. So although I'm a fan of giving stuff due consideration, if your perfectionism is getting in the way of you putting something out there, how long is it going to take? So do not wait for perfect. Just get it out there. And then you know that with any of this stuff, you're going to have to look at the data and, iterate and iterate. So get it out there and see how it performs. Lead magnet funnel is essential. Your audience is your greatest asset. Talking in my group today, your email list will convert 4 times better than your social media alone. So getting people onto your email list is important. And enlist help. If you've got things that are getting in the way, you're not getting it done, make sure that you hire this stuff out so that you're not being held back by stuff that you don't know how to do or just frankly don't want to do. And that is me. Any questions? Stunned silence. Oh dear. No? Well, you guys can always get in touch with me outside of this. So I'm on all of the social media. So yeah, you can come follow me. Instagram's probably my one that I'm most prolific on. So Charlotte Wibberley Strategist. I've got my agency website there, Funnel Architects, and my consultancy website as well there, so you can come and connect with me. But yeah, just want to say a big thank you for coming and giving up your evening and joining me tonight. If you've got questions about funnels, launches, evergreen, do get in touch and I will do my very best to answer them. Is that all right, Jen?
Thank you so much, Charlotte. Honestly, that was so, I've written so many notes and I've got lots and lots of ideas. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Not at all. Not at all. I'll give, like I say, I'll give you these slides, Jen, as well, just so that people can have a look at like those KPIs and things.
Oh, we've got a question. If
Oh.
you're up for a quick question, Charlotte.
Yeah, of course I am.
So
Love
Sarah
it.
said on the chat, once you've created a lead magnet, how do you promote it other than just on socials?
So socials is a great place to start. In Facebook groups. So I don't know if you're in entrepreneurial groups or groups that are relevant to you, Sarah, but putting it in there. But it's all the other traffic sources that I was speaking about. So if you're not going to do organic social media, and organic social media is a great place to start, then you're going to want to start tapping into other people's audiences. So that's speaking in people's groups. It's guesting on podcasts. You could, if you were, that way inclined, start your own podcast. It's basically being prolific and putting it everywhere. You can use Facebook ads as well if you've got the budget to do that and you want to do that. But I always say to people with ads, it's an investment in itself, and really you need a way that you can make that money back as well. So unless you've got kind of a funnel behind it to make sales, I wouldn't necessarily recommend ads unless you've set money aside that you're prepared to let go. Then that can be a strategy as well. But yeah, at the beginning, just be prolific, talk about it all the time, go live on Instagram, although like live video is dying, isn't it? But put it on your stories, put it in groups, on the promo threads, talk about it everywhere. That's going to be the best thing for you to do. Get people to share it, collaborations, that sort of stuff.
Charlotte, can I ask a question as well?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about like how you work with clients and what you offer? And I guess in line with this, what your kind of lead magnets are, if there's anything you can share with us that we can pop in our group for everybody.
Yeah, so I've got about 75 lead magnets, so I'll just give you guys the ones that are relevant. But yeah, so as I say, my business is split into two. I've got my website, which is charlottewibberley.co.uk, and through that I offer consultancy. So like I go into corporates and I'm talking to them about building out evergreen ecosystems or planning out launches, that sort of thing. So I'll lead their team, or sometimes I'll plug in my own team to do kind of build of that stuff. I also have a membership. So I have Momentum, which is I suppose more of a mini mastermind for businesses to take them through growth of their business, marketing. Well, it covers loads of things: team, marketing, offer creation, all that sort of stuff. So that tends to be that side of the business. I also certify people to become launch and funnel strategists. So we launched that at the beginning of the year. That's doing really, really well. And then the other side of the business is my agency. So through that, we get businesses coming to us to talk, for us to build out launches, tech support. We do social media marketing. We do Facebook ads, chatbots, all that sort of stuff. So that's more like done for you marketing. And yeah, so lead magnets wise, I've got a couple of quizzes, like a few PDFs and things. Like I say, they're mainly around like launches that you need, replays of webinars. So I've got this is actually a webinar that I have on Evergreen, and lead people through to a program. So yeah, I've got a few different ones that I can share, a few that will be relevant to you guys if you want me to.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Thank you. It's just good to hear what you've got.
You could be nosy at mine then and check whether I've done the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm sure it's brilliant. Has anyone else got any more questions? I feel like there's so much to take in.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got someone here. Go on, go for it.
I was going to ask about Google KPIs. So if people are viewing, you get a Google business profile summary each month saying this many people viewed your page, and what are the what's good and what isn't?
That's a how long is a piece of string. It kind of depends on the business that you've got, and yeah, I mean, there's not I don't have KPIs for Google Analytics. You're talking about Google Analytics, right?
Yeah.
I think as a rule, you'd be looking for those sorts of conversion rates. So as always, it's more of like a percentage. So if you've got a WordPress website and you're thinking that you've got, I don't know, let's just say 100 because it's round number, 100 people coming through to your sales page and then 40 are taking the action, that's a pretty good conversion rate. Whereas, if you've got 1,000 people that are coming through and 40 are converting, then it's a much lower conversion rate. So overall funnel wise, you should be looking at 2 to 3%. I think I said on the KPIs that for freebie pages, things where you're asking for an opt-in or something but not money, then around 30 to 40% is good. If it's something you're asking for money for, then 2 to 3%. And with all these things, there's the caveats of going, it depends what audiences you're putting it in front of. Because if I put something in front of my Facebook group, it's a warm audience. So I would expect a higher conversion rate. Whereas if I'm putting it out on Facebook ads or to a completely cold audience, then people don't know me. They don't know anything about me. So the conversion rate's probably going to be a fair amount lower. I don't know if that's answered your question, but that's kind of how I'd approach it.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But I think, Google Analytics is another good thing to keep on top of as well. It depends whether you're building like sales pages and stuff in a specific system or whether you're building in your website, in which case having your Google Analytics is really, really important. Yeah. So much data. Love it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not a big data fan, but
no.
Value is very important.
It's one of those things where I think when I first started learning about data years ago now, I was like, oh, this is really dull. But once I could see that it does literally tell you where you're losing people in a funnel and what to fix, then that to me was just like, well, this is a quick and easy way that you guys can see what's wrong and optimize. But there are so many businesses big businesses that still don't look at their data.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Anyone else? I think that's everything. But if anyone else got a question, speak now.
Forever hold your opinion.
Yeah. No, I think we
say if you've got questions, do drop me a message on Instagram. Voice note me or something.
Please do find Charlotte, follow her, and like she says, drop her a message if you've got any more questions. But thank you so much. I know you've got to shoot off at 1:30, and you've got one.
I can just see they're running feral in the gardens. They've obviously finished their movie and are now like just jumping out there. So
I love that. That's what we're all about. So many of us have got kids, and that's what we try. That's why we do online networking, and that's what we try and kind of. We don't care if anyone's here eating or feeding their children or whatever they need to do, putting them to bed.
Yeah.
All good. All right, thanks. We'll stay on and we'll have a bit of a debrief of what you've talked about, Charlotte, but thank you so much for your time. Send me the bits on email and I'll send it out to the group.
Perfect, will do. Thank you, Jen, and thanks everyone for joining me. Thanks. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Awesome. So has anyone got any questions or any reflections from that? It was very much a whirlwind, I know. Particularly keen to hear if I know Michelle and Laura both got very marketing focused businesses. If you've got any thoughts or if anyone else has, please just come off mute and share.
I suppose where I'm coming from, I mean, sales funnels or any type of funnel is a marketing tool. So that's something very specific. So the approach I take to marketing is quite different because I talk more about having the structure and fundamentals in place as to, knowing who your audience is. I mean, that was just discussed about that. Charlotte was talking about the importance of your audience, but there's a real focus on that. And there's a real focus as well about your offer. So I think where I'm coming from, I won't say too much on this, is I'll take a step backwards, and then I would look at, you know, how you could use different funnels. And at that point, I'd say, well, here's the expert. He or she can talk to you about that.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. It's, yeah, like you say, it's the big sort of scale, isn't there? And this is detailed at a certain point of the marketing.
Yeah,
yeah, that makes sense. Laura, were you going to say something?
Yeah, it's obviously what Charlotte does is that she works with huge companies who are, you know, very large scale. So the marketing that I've always done is with very small companies, so like we all run. So it was quite mind-boggling, the complexity of her funnels. Well, not the funnels, because she broke it down into 6 parts, but just how many things that she has going on. I mean, she said she had 75 lead magnets. And I mean, that's quite mind-blowing, isn't it? But that is her niche, is that kind of marketing, isn't it? It's email marketing, and that she's really niched down on that. So I think it was so interesting. It was really enlightening just to see that side in such depth. And I mean, I learned a lot. I thought she was really, really good, but it was a lot of information.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think Linda said this in the video, if you saw, like, I think it's good to kind of have people come and speak from all different like backgrounds. And she's a Chelmsford entrepreneur.
Yeah,
obviously grown her business significantly. So
yeah, amazing. Yeah,
it's an interesting one to hear from.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any comments or like reflections from the meeting?
I found myself finding times where I've been through this funnel with other companies.
Yes.
You know, like the
realise it now, don't you?
Yeah, that I didn't buy the massive thing, but when you sent me the offer of like spend £5 on this, yeah, I was in.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I fell for that.
That's SLO, self-liquidating offer. I'd never heard of that term, but I have seen that so much. I'm like, why would you give me all this for like £7? And I've been so close to buying it. I don't think I did, but I've seen it so many times. Everyone else has seen that a lot. Yeah.
I think it's probably the least effective on me. I kind of think too good to be true. I'm not falling for that. You take me for an idiot, you know, it's that kind of thing. Yeah, I think
with marketing in general, I feel like it's got to feel aligned to you. Like whatever you put out there, if it doesn't feel genuine, it probably isn't. If it's not in line with your values, and I don't think I feel comfortable being like, have all of this stuff. Like I'd rather do a free conversation with someone where it's like a two-way thing, as opposed to I'll give you loads of stuff, but we won't have a conversation, and you just pay me £5 or something.
Yeah, I'm just the same as well. And I suppose that makes sense because our businesses are very much one-to-one, or, you know, we're working in a sort of very close relationship, if you like, with people.
Yeah.
So
it has to be, that's the thing, it's the personal touch, isn't it? And I think the other thing, you know, there's this distinction between marketing and sales. You have to be a certain type of person to be able to do the sales side. And I know a lot of the people that I work with probably wouldn't feel comfortable, you know, doing so much of the selling. But the other thing was interesting about the discounting, because people have got different views on that. And what you were just saying about when something, you know, is it too good to be true? One of the things with discounts, I do it as well. Somebody I know does facials, and she was offering 50%. I thought, oh, brilliant, I'm having that, but I've never been back again. You know, it was just because it was discounted. So sometimes that's something you really have to think about. You know, are people going to return, or are they just going to buy it from you because it is discount, or, you know, offered at a lower price?
Yeah. No, I agree. You don't want to devalue your service or your product at the end of the day. And the money is an exchange of energy, and it's a commitment, isn't it, to the whatever the exchange is. And I think, like you say, if it is a massive discount, that's the only time people buy. You train your clients, you train your customers. I used to work for Debenhams in their head office, and they had a massive issue. I don't know if you remember the Blue Cross sales. Basically, they trained their customers to just shop discounted all the time. Like they really struggled with full price sales, which is one of the reasons they disappeared in the end. But yeah, it's you train your customers. If you know that, like, for example, I don't know, just in January you're always on sale, like certain clients will just be trained for that. Yeah, won't buy unless it's like that. So has anyone got a like any actions? I'd love us to kind of, part of the purpose of us as the village is like, let's actually move ourselves forward. Like, what practical steps can you, either in the chat or just have a little think, is there like one thing that you want to do off the back of that meeting that makes you go, actually, I need to create a lead magnet, or I need to view my, like, one of the things I was thinking about, for example, is I want to like go through the village process and like just see what it actually looks like for a customer, like go through the customer journey, which I know I've done before, but I just want to do it again with like a fresh pair of eyes, and like look at the emails that are all received. For example, I know Michelle signed up for tonight twice and didn't get an email, which is very strange. Like sense check and like do a kind of customer journey myself and do a bit of a critical analysis of it.
See, can I just comment on that, Jen? Actually, that's really interesting, because, you know, Instagram, I could just ping you a message. But if it wasn't for Instagram, I would have just given up. You know, I thought, oh, well, exactly. It's not working.
That's why it's good that we, with the village, like, we do very much, we're very present, and we try and be like the personal touch, like you say, and we're a small collective, so it works. But yeah, if you'd have been one of like thousands and thousands of people in our funnel, which you're absolutely not, because we're not that scale, it would have got missed, like you say.
Sometimes you just want simplicity, don't you? That you can just quickly, we're all so busy and we get distracted, and you don't respond to that WhatsApp message. So that's the thing. That's, you know, as long as you can quickly. So it's fine. I had no problem with that at all.
No, I think it's good to say like when things don't work, when things go wrong. And we've only just set up any automations up this year, so they're all quite new. So they do, like, there is going to be issues. It's good to share. So I can see Kerry's put something. Keep putting it in the chat and I'll have a read through. So Kerry said, I need to review the email acknowledgement my clients receive when they've booked my service. I would like to make sure it's reassuring and reiterates the service they're now promised. Yeah, I liked that a lot, actually. That was one of the couple of things I really liked. One was about when you're on the checkout page, that you put customer testimonials on there. You make people feel really, really good about the fact that they're investing in whatever they're investing in. I thought maybe picking out some Google reviews and putting those on there. For example, with the village, like putting some stuff from our Google reviews, I think would be really good. I think that could apply to everybody though. Yes, and I think that email thing as well, about like telling them again, like, this is what you're going to get now, this is the process, like this is what it's going to look like. That's really important. Sarah, I need to look at customer journey too. Yes, so important, isn't it? Like we often just look at it from our operational lens. We don't actually like pretend to be a customer ourselves and like critically look at that stuff. Anyone else got any actions? I can see some people typing away.
I'm typing something very long, so I might as well just talk. It's made me think quite a lot about, pretty much all of my business is based on referral. So even if it comes through Instagram, it's often someone has referred them to my Instagram. Perhaps they've then watched for a bit and then they've made contact. None of it really comes completely cold. So it's made me think a little bit about whether there is a lead magnet that I could use that may assist with that. So, but it's really difficult, because I think that a lot, because obviously I'm kind of a service-based business selling a product.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So kind of thinking, well, what would my lead magnet be? I mean, obviously I've just returned from Disney Orlando, and it's quite overwhelming when people are planning Disney Orlando. So you could do potentially like a PDF that gives you a guide to a day in Disney, that perhaps people will be curious about, but then you're kind of giving away half of your value, if you like, by doing that.
Yeah, lots of, I guess if you do the Disney thing, that's quite niche. But if that's, you know, America's a big thing for you. So, but if you could do something America based, if that's what you want to be specializing in. I think when you say it gives away your secrets, if you like, you've just got to keep it high level, but you've also got to know that the people that are going to buy from you are going to need you regardless. Some people will just want the download and never buy from you. It's just how it works. Don't worry too much about that. Maybe just get someone to sense check it for you when you've created it, and try and make sure it's not too giving away all your secrets.
Cool. It's just made me think a bit about that kind of.
You capture email addresses of people when they're word of mouth?
Yes. So yeah, various ways of doing that. But obviously it just makes someone normally get in contact with me. So obviously if it comes through Calendarly, or I'll capture an email. If someone just messages me on Instagram, I'll try and get their email. So yes, but I don't, and you can just sign up to a newsletter.
I feel like a quiz would be quite cool for you, because I feel, do you remember like when you used to read magazines when you were younger, there was like quizzes?
Like Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, like in Cosmo, yeah, like maybe what kind of holiday should be your next getaway, and it could be like questions that lead them to, I don't know, America, or more adventure holiday, or more relaxed holiday. Something like that would be quite cool.
Yeah, and use it to get email addresses and get people on your newsletter.
You can, if you
that would be good.
Sites that you can use to build quizzes that are a lead magnet. So have a Google on that.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Jen. That's really helpful.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay, so just going to go back through. So Laura has said, I use funnels in my Instagram stories in the same way as an email funnel. It's taking the follower on a journey to demonstrate how I can solve their problems and demonstrate how credible I am through customer case studies and social proof. We need to watch your stories, Laura. Follow Laura and watch her stories to understand more about that. Michelle, yes, you need to deliver what you promise, otherwise you won't get repeat business or referrals. Yeah,
just to clarify, sorry, my stories at the moment are just me whinging today, because we've all had COVID for the last week. So yeah, it's been quite full on. So yeah, don't look at my stories today. It's just me getting the violin out, really.
That's totally cool. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're all getting better now. Emily said, to understand the lead magnet part, I missed the start. Yep, I know you're a big fan of re-listening, Emily, so that's totally cool. Laura, lead magnet has to give value to make people have the desire to sign up. Yeah, you have to make it clear that they need more. Yeah, exactly. I think that's a really good point for Heather to think about as well. It's like, how do you leave people on like a cliffhanger where they're like, oh my God, I have to speak to this person because I need to find out like the next thing to do. Yeah, quiz is a good idea. What can you use to build quizzes? I can't remember what it's called. It's in the back of my brain somewhere, so I'll have a think and look through some old notepads, because I've definitely got it written down somewhere. No problem, Debbie. I think she's probably gone by now. Okay, has anyone else got anything else they want to share? I might just ask, if you don't mind, Laura, do you mind just talking through how you do your stories, the thing you popped earlier? Because I think it's quite interesting. You're happy to share.
Yeah, so I am actually going to do a few posts on that this week, because basically I go on the premise that on your grid you're trying to have a mixture of, sorry, I'm very, very tired, so if I'm stumbling over my words, I'm exhausted. I will catch up from COVID and I've got so much work to do, so apologies, I'm not very with it this evening.
That's fine.
But basically, you're adding value from your grid, you're creating an attraction content, you're aiming to stop people scrolling, and that is what's going to get you followers. But then the key way that you can actually turn your followers to customers is through stories. So effectively, that is the bit, the stories are the bit that a lot of people don't utilize. So the best way to use stories to sell is if you begin with a customer problem, so something that your very, very niche audience experiences. So if you put yourself in their shoes, you're imagining that customer and what's going on in their life, what they need. If you write a question on one story with any background, it doesn't matter, with you doing something, it's irrelevant. Do you X, Y, Z, or are you feeling this way because of X, Y, Z? Next story. I see this all the time. My customers experience ABC, and I did this to transform them from D to F. And then you also have to not just say, well, this is what I do. What's so important is to, because, you know, if they're quite a cold audience, if they've just followed you, then who are they to believe you? You know, you're this unknown person that, you know, might have started up 2 weeks ago, and you're spouting all of this stuff like, I can do this, I can do that, but they need validation from other customers. So what I find really, really helpful is to just screenshot feedback, so Google reviews, Instagram messages that says, you know, thanks very much, what you did was really helpful, this download was great. Whatever you do, you know, use all your customer feedback to use as one of your stories. So it's not just one story, it's a series of stories in one day, so 4 or 5, taking them through. Well, this is, do you have this problem? And they're ideally thinking, yes, I do. Yeah, that's absolutely me. And then you say, well, that's what a lot of my clients have, you know, that they're experiencing this too. So they feel validated. They're not the only person that's feeling this way. Then you explain how you solved that problem, and then how your other customers felt when you solved that problem for them. And then the last story is, so if you would like to solve this problem too, here is the link. So you can then direct them either to your free lead magnet or your course or your sign up or whatever. But because stories, obviously, they don't last very long. Obviously, I don't mean in terms of they disappear after 24 hours. They're short, aren't they? They move on to the next story. Don't load each story with too much text, because you just don't have time to read it. It needs to be in bite-sized chunks so people can literally click through that series, that sequence, and identify with it. Because if you're just sharing your grid post with a link, people are very unlikely just to click on it, because it's just duplicating what you've got on your grid.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like, again, like Heather, I know, come back to your business again, but it could be very relevant.
I was about to say, I can really relate to that, because basically what you're saying is what I'm saying is I'm getting my business from referral, but you're saying put the referral in front of people on Instagram. Basically.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because it you know, immediately makes you credible, doesn't it?
And I've got like a whole folder of clients that have written lovely things about me, and I just do nothing with it.
Yeah, amazing, definitely. But what I would say is, don't just testimonial dump, don't just review dump on your grid without any context. So you can put it on your grid, but equally, if you do stories like that showing the testimonials, make sure you put them into a highlights folder. It's really important to have a highlights folder on Instagram called reviews or testimonials or what my customers say. Yeah, so because obviously the stories disappear after 24 hours. So if you've created a story series that's gold, you know, you don't want it to disappear after 24 hours. So yeah, stuff like that is great. Screenshot it, but then put it into context. I helped this lady, you know, find her dream holiday, or I helped her find this on a, but you know, whatever you did and whatever value you brought, rather than just because they don't know really what this person's talking about. She might be going into raptures and raptures, but because they don't know the context and exactly how you did that for them, they're going to take less notice.
Yeah.
No, that's
and you can easily do the whole do you feel like you really need a holiday right now? Yes, no. If you said well, you're just 100%. Like my client.
Yes, spot on.
And we booked this amazing,
and that's the great thing, because people are really lazy, so they're not going to sort of comment on a post really, because either they feel self-conscious or they haven't got the time. But the great thing about stories is you can put all the interactive stickers on, like you say. You can do polls, you can do questions, you can just slide if you resonate, you've got the slider with a happy face or whatever emoji you want. So they're really, really good for kind of getting that follower interaction. So yeah.
Michelle, sorry, go on. Michelle's just written about videos for testimonials for clients. I've got most of my clients are not really social media users, so this is kind of where I'm trying to get to, because for the most part my market is probably quite a bit older. There is part of it that's younger as well, but obviously I want to make sure I am advertising to a younger clientele, because I don't want to lose all my clients.
Heather, how do you reach that audience out of interest?
years of doing it. So I've been doing travel now for 15 years, and I've only been doing my own business for 2, but a lot of my clients have followed me from my previous world, and then they have referred me to friends and family and things like that. So, but none of them like social media very much, which is, to be honest, probably why they use me as well, because they don't like to spend too much time online. So
I always say social media is a tool, and I know I don't want to take up all the time, obviously, because I do marketing, but that's what I always say about your audience, because you've got to listen to your audience. And if, you know, if you're looking at a different audience, that's fine, you know, you think of platforms that would work for them. But actually, if it sounds like, you know, a lot of what you do is to do with managing client relationships or managing customer relationships.
And that's what I'm great at. I'm not so great at Instagram. So
I always say that, you know, life's hard enough without adding things that, you know, you're going to struggle with, take up your time. Then, and to be honest, for any of us, client relationship or customer relationship management is crucial. And as I said, social media is a tool, and I'm not taking that away from Laura, because I'm all over Instagram. But again, I'm not on Facebook, because my clientele, I didn't get any work from Facebook, so I just took myself off it.
Yeah, I think Heather, it might be interesting to use Instagram to do a bit of market research as well. So just to find out why, like, to try and bring those younger people in, or maybe what are the barriers for them for using you. I definitely, I feel like you and Laura could have a good chat, Heather, because she's brilliant, and maybe she can kind of get you feeling the vibe of Instagram.
And there's a huge market there, because I mean, other travel counsellors, it's quite see-through in travel counsellors. You can see what other people are putting through and what their turnover is and everything.
Okay. Oh wow, can you?
Yeah, it's great. So there's some big names on Instagram of travel counsellors, 3 in particular, and you know they're making fantastic, I mean, amazing money from it. So there's definitely a market there. It's just how you appeal, isn't it? It's interesting.
Then it shows that potentially there's a good return on investment. So although you might need to spend a bit, maybe do ads at some point, or think about the right way to approach it, or invest in some coaching or some support with it, it sounds like it might be worth it.
Yeah, I've been really busy. I've been really lucky, but I've just actually brought someone else on board to help, which has allowed me to free up a bit more headspace and time to actually think about how to grow. And this is part of it. So thank you guys anyway.
I was going to say, a lot of the travel counsellors I know actually use LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So again, it depends, you know, who your audience is and what. But actually, I come across travel counsellors on LinkedIn rather than Insta.
Yeah, there's quite a few that are successful on LinkedIn as well. So
it sounds like you might need to organise a few holidays for some influencers.
People do that, travel counsellors do that. They have organised and paid for influencer holidays. So that is one way that I know one of them on Instagram has so it's interesting, isn't it? But no, people definitely do that.
That's really interesting. I know Linda sent a copy of her book to Ollie Mersey's wife Amelia, so maybe she's got contact there. Maybe try and book their next holiday. It's so funny. Amazing. All right, it's been so nice hearing like the conversation, particularly as well afterwards, because I think sometimes we don't get the chance to actually take a step back and think, like, what have I learned from the meeting, what can I take forward? So write down the action that you want to be taking, and give yourself space. We're not going to do the wind down because Linda's not here, and she's the one with a really calm voice and that does all that mindfulness stuff. Think about the fact that we've got the summer holidays coming up. If you've got kids, or even if you haven't got kids, like, it doesn't actually matter. Like, it does affect business. August does become a bit quieter typically. I mean, tell me if I'm going mad, but I'm pretty sure for most of our businesses it does affect us. So like, think about, like, how do you want to feel on like the 25th of July? Like, do you want to feel like you're having yourself a bit of a break? Doesn't matter if you've got kids or not. Like, do you want to take a step back, or are you going to just keep going and keep working hard? Have you got some holidays planned? Are you going to cut off from business while you're on holiday, or are you going to be doing your work whilst you're away, like whatever it is you decide, like you do you, but make sure you're happy with whatever that decision is. Oh, thanks, Emily. She found the reflection really helpful. Yeah, definitely. Thanks. It's been really nice. I know we've talked about Heather's business a lot, but I think it's so helpful to everybody. Like there's something we can all take from it, and yeah, we're all here to support each other. I'll be sharing the recording on the Facebook page. Yeah, if anyone's got any questions, I'll share the slides on email potentially as well with you guys, depending on how it comes through to me, but I'll make sure you guys get a copy on the Facebook page or on email. But yeah, any questions, just drop us an Insta on our village networking, and Michelle will catch up with you later and see how you found the meeting as well. It'd be good to hear your feedback because you're very much in that world. Amazing. All right, everyone. Well, it's 4 minutes to 9. I feel like we've done really well time-wise tonight. So have a lovely rest of evening. Laura, I hope you feel better and you get your castings done. And I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Jen.
Everybody.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Good night. Awesome. Thanks, Kimberly. See you later.